are 4 steps that I'm going to tell you about, and by following these 4 steps, you will be able to improve your speaking by a lot. The first step is to learn everything by topic. What do I mean? Well, when you want to speak with someone, there are many different topics to talk about. For example, to talk about friendship, relationships, health, environment, education, sports, hobbies. What you should do is to have a notebook, and when you learn any words or phrases, you just write everything down under its relevant topic. So you need a notebook. This notebook should have many different sections. Each section should be about a very common topic. Okay, now I have the notebook, and I have some topics on it. I don't know all the topics. Don't worry. As you go by, as you study, you will come across different topics, and when you come across a topic, you just write it down in your notebook. Now, I have the notebook with its different sections. What do I do next? Step 2, write before you speak. Write before you speak. Because when you write, you have time to think about grammar and vocabulary, but when you speak, you don't. Let's take the case of friendship as a topic. So you open your notebook, you go to the friendship section, and what you do here is that you write down a few sentences. You write down every new word or new phrase or new adjective or whatever you learn under its correct section in your speaking notebook. You might know grammar, vocabulary, structures. However, when you want to speak, you can't because you haven't practiced enough. The more you practice, the more comfortable you will be while speaking to other people.
Reading, listening, writing, and speaking. So this is passive skills where you receive input, and these are active skills where you produce output. So when you are able to understand natives, that means your input skills are already very strong. It's very well trained. You have spent a lot of time getting input. You are now used to the sounds of the language when natives speak. That's why you can understand them. But what about your active skills? At this point, you probably have not practiced your output skills enough. So just because you understand doesn't always mean that you can speak it. And why is that? So these are completely different skills. Well, these skills are not necessarily transferable. Just because you've trained a lot of your passive skills, it doesn't always mean that you will automatically improve your active skills as well. Keep getting input. So just because you are moving on to your output phase doesn't mean that you should stop getting input. So keep watching or reading any TV shows, videos, or movies that you've been watching. So stuff that you actually love and enjoy. Find a community where you can speak this language. If you're learning English, find an English speaking community on Google. You can simply just say English Language Exchange Forum, English Speaking Chat Rooms, English Speaking Clubs Discord. Step 3, so this step you can actually implement in your input phase. So whenever you're watching a movie or TV shows or videos in your target language, make sure to have your phone app on, or you have a notebook with you to actually write down the phrases that you know you're going to use. So be mindful and be selective about which phrases that you're going to write down and to speak out, because always remember to make it relevant. Once you have made a list and you've written down all of the relevant phrases that you want to say out loud, then you go back to this community that you're going to meet either once a week or once every 2 weeks or twice a week, and then use these phrases out loud. This is going to improve your skills. This is going to level up your skills and make you sound a lot cooler by using phrases that you have found in native content. Phrases in your notebook and practice them out loud. So it's basically the step that I said before. So you've written down all of these in your notebook or in your phone's app. Don't just write it and forget it. Make sure you actually review and say them out loud. If you actually do not have people to practice it with, then turn your camera on or turn your phone on and just practice them out loud. Imagine that you are having a dialogue with someone and then just talk about anything. Like, try to find a way in which you can make scenarios in your head. So once the camera is on, You can go crazy. You can talk about anything that you think is interesting. You can even pretend that you're speaking to someone else. Because the thing is, recording yourself speaking is actually a good fluency building exercise.
Here's what you need to do. First, watch a 5-minute video, 10-minute video, or however long you want to watch a video for. I have it in parentheses because you can choose how long the video is. And what you're going to do is you're going to speak for 5 minutes, or however long the video is, you're going to speak for that amount of time about the video. Now, half of the time is going to be summarizing what you saw, and the other half is going to be giving your opinion. Here's the deal. You are just thinking about your day in your own language. This means your brain is mainly functioning in one language. And I get this question all the time from students. Teacher, how can I stop thinking in my mother tongue? This is really a difficult thing. You can't just only think in your own language. You have to figure out a way to think in English in order to improve your speaking ability. So here's we go. Summarize your day. At the end of the day, even if you are alone, summarize the 3 to 5 main things you did that day. If you worked, if you went to school, if you talked to your family, if you cooked, think about the 3 to 5 main things you did during the day. Set aside 15 minutes at the end of your day. Again, not a long period of time. I want to help you reach your goals without having stress. So just start with 15 minutes. Whatever time of the day you want to set aside this 15 minutes is okay. Again, in the evening though, but set aside 15 minutes at the end of your day. Then think about the 3 to 5 main things you did. Finally, start describing or explaining them out loud in English. Now, let's look at another one. Here's the situation. You are taking tons of notes in your notebook. You probably have your notes out right now, just writing. If you are, I'm very proud of you as your teacher, right? Now, that's a good thing. So you're taking tons of notes in your notebook, on your phone, or on your computer. Take notes and read them. Read them out loud. You'll notice that there's this overarching theme of out loud, reading out loud, making sure you're speaking and not just thinking about things. So here we go. You need to start reviewing your English notes by reading them out loud. This needs to become a routine because it will help you remember important words and also use them in real life. I'm going to give you some steps. First, write little notes throughout the week. I have a little notebook that I keep with me that when ideas pop in my head, or if I have a little sketch that I want to do, I take that little notebook out. It's very small. And I just draw in it really quickly, or I write some quick notes. That's what you need to do. Throughout the week, take notes. Maybe you watch a television program, or maybe you see a YouTube video like this lesson, and you learn something new. Jot or write down a quick note. It's okay. Write down the notes and collect these notes throughout a week, okay, over a 7-day period. Next, what you're going to do is pick a day to review those notes. You can say, hey, Sundays are my review notes day. Or days, or you can say, hey, I'm going to do it on Monday or Wednesday. You can pick the day. Just once a week, pick a day that you're going to review the notes. Then what you're going to do is you're going to read them out loud 3 times. It will get easier each time. Now, you may say, teacher, why 3 times? So let me explain. The first time you read your notes, you may feel a little bit awkward, like teacher Tiffany said, write something and read it out loud. Right? The first time you're kind of like, okay. But then the second time you read it, teacher Tiffany said, write something down and read it out loud. You're a little more comfortable. By the third time, your tongue is also going to be, hey, I'm ready. Let's do it. Your tongue is ready. You already know what it says because you've connected by looking at it and actually saying it. So now, teacher Tiffany said, write something down and read it out loud. You need to read out loud and shadow. So reading out loud and shadowing is very important. You need to start reading the words out loud and or shadowing what you hear as you watch various videos. This will also help you improve your pronunciation skills. select a video or an audio file. Again, you can select the YouTube video, you can select the podcast episode, Speak English with Tiffany podcast. I think you'll like it. Now, the next thing you're going to do is decide on a specific time interval. Now, this is very important. I put down 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and 15 seconds. It all depends on your level. So what's going to happen is, for example, I'm still talking to you right now, but let's say you chose 5 seconds. So you'll watch for 5 seconds. Okay, so we're studying this lesson and I want you to keep practicing. Pause. I said, okay, we're studying this lesson and I want you to keep practicing. When you hit that pause button, you repeat what I just said. Now, for those who are a little bit more advanced, maybe you choose the 10-second interval. That means you can remember what is said over a 10-second period and you can repeat it. Again, you can choose the interval, but whatever you watch, whatever you are listening to, you need to pick an interval and start and stop, start and stop. So again, the last part, stop the file based on the intervals and repeat what you hear. This is so important. This is how you practice or shadow and practice reading out loud as you're learning things from videos or from audio podcasts.